I remember for me the most important thing was that time when I read in one of the English papers that the best team since Puskás, because before us it was Puskás.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, it is my utmost delight to welcome you at the 15th anniversary celebration of the Hungarian Cultural Centre in Covent Garden. We aim to present the highest quality cultural, artistic, scientific achievements from Hungary amidst the countless world-class cultural events taking place in London. While doing so, we are creating an intimate and friendly environment with a special touch and intellectual hub for all our friends, partners, guests, visitors, and stakeholders. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have the absolute privilege to be able to warmly welcome amongst us those illustrious and dedicated people who first of all brought the Hungarian Cultural Centre to life, and those who continue to work tirelessly in order to support and nurture at present and its future life.
The Hungarian Cultural Centre might be at a little distance from the Embassy of Hungary, but as part of our integrated mission in London, it has always served as the Embassy of Hungarian Culture. The Hungarian Cultural Centre, as part of the worldwide network of 23 Hungarian cultural institutes in 20 different countries under the direction of the Balassi Institute, strives to project a quality-oriented image of our nation. Now, in the short space of time that I've started my term here in office as Ambassador of Hungary, I had the opportunity to gain first-hand experience of the Centre's work, which I find very, very impressive. And now, I wish the Hungarian Cultural Centre a happy birthday with the words of Pálint Balassi. For honor and good name, for manhood and for fame, they left everything behind. They gave up all they have. These noble men, these brave, fine models of humankind.
I'm really very much honored that we are here together with Mátyás Sárközi, with Peter Frankl, with Tamás Vásári. They were the real cultural ambassadors of Hungary in London, in Great Britain.
If you do culture diplomacy in London as a Hungarian, you communicate with the whole world. You communicate with different races, religions, cultures. You communicate with different institutions, but they are all influential because they can all meet each other here. My dream was to create a culture space where ideas, people, different cultures, thoughts, religions, different backgrounds could meet up and inspire each other. And this is exactly the same what I've been doing since I don't know how many decades. Hungarian culture is so strong, so rich, and so diverse that the Hungarian culture can play a role of a bridge builder. And this is how I always envisage the role of Hungarian culture here in I would say, the middle of the world. Because really, especially in Covent Garden, what is it? This is symbolically the middle of the culture world. And here we have a culture institute now for 15 years is really, I would say, a good message to the world that we feel ourselves committed to the world, and we feel ourselves strong enough to play a role amongst the cultures.
Is a vast subject, okay, because there's a huge tradition of folk music and a really distinguished culture of classical music. As a musician, I've homed in on the music. So Hungarian culture to me can be summed up in 3 words: folk, Bartók, and Kodály.
I think this has been the most successful cultural centre in London, including even the Polish Cultural Centre. Every evening there seems to be something here: music, literature, exhibitions, paintings as you have here. I think it's also been the catalyst for taking Hungarian culture away from London. Now, I'm Scottish, so I have a different perspective, but Coty and I have worked on 2 major Hungarian festivals in Scotland. So Magyar Magic was one of them. So no one in my country really knew anything about Hungary, and now people know Hungarian music, poetry, literature.
Quite emotional. I'm not a very sentimental person, but it's pretty amazing. I haven't actually been back for a few years, and back in the centre, and I'm so pleased we're all here together. So I guess all I have to say is it's been an amazing experience being a part of seeing the centre progress to where it is today.
In terms of tonight's event, it's actually in keeping what we've been used to since the beginning of the Hungarian Cultural Centre. Because as very close friends of Catalin's, we've been fortunate enough to see it in its inception, to see it grow, and see these wonderful connections being made with so many wonderful artists and wonderful statespeople from all different walks of life come together and just produce something that's very, very positive, and that has a very positive impression in London.
And for us also, because we've been coming here from the beginning, it just seems the cultural centre seems to be continuing the work of bridge building that Catalin left behind, and still trying to encompass the whole of what's happening in London and what London can benefit from Hungary.